What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new, my name is Evan and I make videos about hot stocks, dividends, and options. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now in today's video, we're going over NIO stock and we're doing a quick update on NIO. Now if you guys have been following NIO pretty closely, you probably know that they were down around 8% this morning at 7.84% in pre-market hours. After pre-market hours, they kind of bounced back up throughout the day to where they used to be last Friday at market close. But now you can see in the last hour or so, they're up past $19. So in today's video, we're going to go over what caused their stock price to drop so much in pre-market hours today, and why this could be a good thing going into the future, and why this could lead to more gains for NIO. So for those who don't know, NIO has been planning to sell shares for a while. But what caused the price to drop so much this morning was because they sold 20% more American depository shares than they had planned. Originally the plan was to sell 75 million, but they ended up selling 88.5 million. And not only did they sell more shares than they originally had planned, but the shares that they did sell were sold at a big discount compared to what they would have liked. So NIO closed at $18.50 on Friday, but the offering for these American depository shares were sold at just $17 a share. So this price would gain a quick profit for buyers, but NIO was looking to get hopefully more because they bought 20% more shares than originally planned, but they sold them at $1.50 lower than the price was at. And if you don't know why they would do this, they basically sold these shares because they planned to spend about $1 billion to buy back some of what they gave to secure a bailout back in May. Because if you don't know, NIO wasn't even sure whether they were going to make it through this whole pandemic or not. Now I know I've mentioned that in videos before, but if you don't know, they really weren't sure whether they were going to make it through the pandemic. They also weren't sure whether they had enough cash back in December to sustain a long-term business model. So they did make it through the pandemic, and they made it through the end of the year last year. And so they're looking pretty good, but they still need money right now. And this is part of the reason why they are selling these shares. So to kind of sum up what they're doing with these proceeds, NIO basically plans to use the bulk of this money, which is roughly around $1 billion, and they want to increase their stake in a subsidiary that holds all of its Chinese assets. And they were almost sort of forced to create this subsidiary, and importantly, they had to give up 24.1% of it because of the bailout that happened back in May. But this isn't to say that this is necessarily a bad thing, because even though the stock price dropped this morning, and it dropped by nearly 8%, it recovered very nicely throughout the day, and now we're coming into the last couple hours of the trading day, and it's back up to where it was last Friday at close. So for a lot of investors, this could have just been a good buying opportunity, especially in pre-market hours when it was back down to $17. I also mentioned in a previous video that I thought NIO would spike up and keep going around $20 to $21, and then it would pull back to around 16 or 17. Not a lot of people actually thought this would happen, but without a lot of good news coming out, NIO couldn't just keep going up for weeks on end. It kind of had to tame down and come to a resting point, which I thought was around $16 or $17, which happened this morning in pre-market hours. Now, because there's a lot of support around the $17 area, I wouldn't be surprised if NIO kind of hovers between $18 and $20 for the next few weeks or so. But aside from this pullback that NIO had, there's actually a pretty good outlook, because if everything goes as planned, NIO's stake in this subsidiary will go from 75.9% up to 86.4%, and approximately $600 million of the $1 billion will go into the subsidiary as cash available to NIO's China business. And then the rest of it will go back to investors to buy back more shares of NIO. And NIO is also planning on using this money to fund their self-driving development and advance their technology, which if they do that, their cars are going to be better. Therefore, more people will buy NIO vehicles and the stock price will go up. So if a company gets a big portion of money that they can use to fund their business, you would think that the price would only go up from there since they're investing back into their business. Obviously that won't happen all the time, but a good portion of the time, if they get a big chunk of money like this and they're reinvesting back into themselves and funding their business more and more, I think the share price should keep going up. So in the long term, this could be a very bullish plan and it could be very good for US investors. But on the other hand, the discount and the dilution caused by these 88.5 million shares could potentially cause NIO's stock to be more volatile and could cause the stock price to bounce around for a while. So I just wouldn't be surprised if the stock is kind of up and down in the near future. I wouldn't bet any money that they keep spiking up, at least not for a while, until this money kind of gets in and gets flowing into the business. But once that happens, I think NIO could definitely take off again. So the last thing I wanted to check out is just the volume of NIO. And this is just on Robinhood. This website is called RobinTrack, and it basically tracks the volume of users holding certain stocks. So you just type in the ticker symbol you want. But if we look back here in June, around June 27th, there was 162,000 people holding shares of NIO. And now if you just look at the chart as a whole, you can see after July 13th or so, the price dropped down, but the volume of NIO kind of stayed steady. So if you have a good amount of people actually holding NIO stock, it shouldn't be too volatile as long as these people continue holding. If a bunch of people drop off and sell their shares for some reason, the stock could go crazy, but it looks like people are holding pretty steadily. Not many people are selling off, and there's not a whole lot of buying either, but people are holding pretty steadily. So with all this dilution happening from this large amount of shares being sold by NIO, I would kind of be curious what you guys think and what you guys maybe did. Did you guys buy more shares because NIO pulled back to around $17? Or are you planning on buying more in the future here? Also, what do you think NIO will do by the end of the year? Do you think it will stay around the same price it's at, around this $19, $20 range? Or do you think it'll spike up and hit $50 or $100? Let me know down in the comments. I'd be curious what you guys think. Also, make sure you guys sign up for Webull using the link in the description if you haven't already. When you deposit $100, you'll get 2 free stocks and one is valued up to $1,400. And you can just cash out once you get those stocks and just withdraw your money too if you want. But it's pretty much free money, so you might as well sign up. And the link is in the description if you guys want to sign up. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button because it really does help out the channel. And let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see more in the future. Do you guys like these NIO updates, or do you want to see another company? Maybe more videos about Workhorse or something like that, or possibly Tesla? Let me know down in the comments what you want me to cover. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.